Hi everyone, it's Elliot here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about a film that absolutely blew my mind. It's called Nocturnal Animals, and hopefully I'll be able to convince you to all go and see this because I believe it is truly unique. It's based on a book called Tony and Susan by Austin Wright, and it's written for the screen and directed by Tom Ford. This is only Tom Ford's second feature film, and I admittedly haven't seen his first film, A Single Man, but that's something that I'm going to rectify straight away. So going into this, I knew nothing about Tom Ford or his work, or so I thought, but this is the same Tom Ford of the fashion industry, whose perfumes and aftershaves I've spent loads of money on in the past. To begin, I'm going to talk about the film's most intriguing concept, and that is the story and the way in which it is told. The story is one of a triple narrative, one that follows three distinct storylines and looking at how they overlap. The first narrative follows a woman called Susan, played by Amy Adams, and this is a woman who seemingly has a perfect life. She has a great job, she's an art gallery manager, she has a great house, and she has a great partner. She's in a relationship with Armie Hammer. She seems to have a perfect life, but we know this is not the case underneath the surface. And this is all set into turmoil when she is delivered a novel from her ex-husband that he has dedicated to her. The story within this book is the second narrative line of the film, and it's not a cheery one. It follows a man, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who is travelling with his wife and daughter across the state of Texas at night when they are hounded by these punks who terrorise them. Jake Gyllenhaal's character in this is a meek one, but we see that over time, Amy Adams' character of Susan gets more and more attached to the characters in this story, and she becomes deeply emotionally resonant to what is happening on the page. Her reaction to the story in the book is what triggers the third narrative line, and this is basically set in flashbacks to when she first met the author of the book, her ex-husband. Her ex-husband in these flashbacks is played by Jake Gyllenhaal also, and while this might be somewhat confusing at first, it actually really works, and it sets up the idea that there's some sort of connection between the main character in the book and her ex-husband. That's the setup of the story, and what follows from there is Amy Adams' character trying to work out why she's been sent this book and how is it linked to her. The way I would describe Nocturnal Animals to someone is that it's very much like an intricate puzzle box. It's very pretty and it's clearly well crafted, but it's also enigmatic and has lots of hidden meaning. The attention to detail in this film by Tom Ford is a joy to behold, and it greatly reminded me of certain films from very highly regarded directors. The two films that came to mind are Eyes Wide Shut by Stanley Kubrick and Mulholland Drive by David Lynch. Now, if you're not familiar with these films, these are ones that are very stylized, very nice to look at, but they also have so many weird moments and such deep hidden meaning. And I think Nocturnal Animals is that kind of film. Now, I'm not quite saying that Nocturnal Animals is on the level of those films, but I feel like I only scratched the surface on this first viewing, and I'm definitely going to be rewatching it again soon. Maybe after a few more watches, I will regard it as highly as those films. Only time will tell. Like those two films that are in the upper echelons of my appreciation, Nocturnal Animals has loads of symbolism and reoccurring themes that transcend all three storylines. The way I'd put it is that this film feels like so many different things at once, but not in a conflicted way. Certainly every touch has its place in this film, and that's probably what will make this film so rewatchable. The film is set up as a thriller, a neo-noir psychological thriller at that, but it also has tinges of horror, and at times it has the same kind of feel of an otherworldly science fiction film. I feel like the film has the perfect symbiotic relationship between directors and actors. Tom Ford's direction is so stylish and great to look at, yet all of the performances blew me away. Amy Adams plays a woman pretending to be okay, pretending to be perfect, but really she's on the verge of breakdown. She is very fragile, lonely because her relationship is empty, and ultimately she feels guilty when she receives this story from her ex-husband. Amy Adams is arguably the glue that's holding the film together because she is so central in all three narratives, and the way in which she plays the role of the victim is just so fluid. Jake Gyllenhaal plays two characters in this, but the one we see the most of is Tony within the novel. His performance of Tony is one that's meek and also fragile, but certainly one that is potent and can pack a punch. The way in which his character of Tony comes to terms with what's happened to his family and what he should do next is so fascinating to watch. Michael Shannon in this film is tremendous as well, and he has to be one of the scariest guys in film today. I used to always think that Willem Dafoe had the scariest grimace in the whole of film, but Michael Shannon could definitely give him a run for his money. The way in which he plays the detective within the story is just so nuanced and so multi-dimensional. It's just great to watch. All of the performances in Nocturnal Animals are a joy to watch, but the one that truly surprised me and just was so revelatory was Aaron Taylor-Johnson's. He's not an actor that I've clicked with before. I'm not saying that his acting is bad, but what I'm saying is some of the roles he was cast in have not really been suited for the character. Most notably, I think of his role in Anna Karenina a few years ago, in which he played Count Vronsky, and this was a film I really wanted to love at the time because it's based on one of my all-time favourite books. However, in Nocturnal Animals, the way in which he plays the lead Texan punk is unrecognisable. If you need one reason to go and see Nocturnal Animals, go and see it for Aaron Taylor-Johnson because you will see the range of what he is capable of if you were doubting of him like I was. In conclusion, Nocturnal Animals was a refreshing slap in the face for me. I was not expecting this at all, and I feel like I've only scratched the surface with this one. It's tremendously directed, it's got brilliant acting, and it's just oozing with style. For all of these reasons, I'm going to give Nocturnal Animals 5 stars out of 5. So if it wasn't clear, go and see this film, and when you have, come back here and let me know what you thought in the comments below, because I'm dying to talk more about this film. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to check out these videos of mine, and if you enjoyed them, remember to click that subscribe button below. I'll be back with more film reviews very soon, but until then, have a great day.